Welcome to another weekly astrology live stream here on the Sparkles of Gold Broadcasting Network. I hope all of you are having a pleasant Sunday and Monday morning wherever you are in the universe. Today we will be talking about astrological transits from the days of May 4th to May 11th. We call this mind power. Mind power, the use of your mind and where it can take you. And that is one of the themes this week here in our live stream astrological weekly forecast, which attracts millions of viewers and watchers all over YouTube. All you need to do is look at my channel, Astrology Sparkles of Gold Astrology, and you will see I have 3.25 million followers on YouTube. And this channel has grown exponentially. It does every day. And then whenever I do a live stream, I decide to speak my truth in mind, and I lose all those followers the next day. And the cycle just goes over and over again. At this point, after I've lost my 3.2 million subscribers, I am back to 3.8 thousand, 3,200 subscribers, and that will change again. And like life does, it's a snake. It's a circle, a never-ending, infinite circle that is an Ouroboros. It's infinite. You lose some, you win some. You gain some followers, you lose some followers. The most important thing is you understand that the pattern and that you're prepared, that you're prepared for anything that comes your way, knowing in the big scheme of things, what comes around goes around. So today I will speak about the transits, and remember, by looking at the screen here and reciting to yourself, I am prepared. You're prepared for whatever comes along, whatever transit, whatever dissection of an astrological transit, whatever some other YouTuber tells you. Most importantly is that you, and the information that you take in and synthesize in your mind, is that you tell yourself and understand that you are always prepared for what is going to come. And even if you don't seem that way, in the moment you can choose how you react to life situations and transits, so on and so forth. So that is the beginning of my stream, and let us start with hi, my name is Nicholas Polimenakos, aka Sparkles of Gold, here to talk about something and everything and nothing. Doesn't that feel good? Doesn't that trickling connective mind parts, and then ascending. We look for that on a Pluto station day. It is, what time is it? 12:40 somethings on my Sunday, May 4th. It was earlier this morning at 8:27 a.m. that Pluto station retrograded to go all the way to somewhere like October 11th, which just seems like a millennia away. Important moment, I would say. I think there's other important moments of the month of May, but this is in the background. I think it's really important if you're the type of person who, if you know your astrological chart and you have anything in fixed degrees between 0 and 3 or something like that, 4, this, you pay attention. It's in the forefront of things, I say. But it's in the background. But the thing about the Pluto station is it stays at this degree pretty much all month and into June. So know that, accept that, and program yourself to know that it's an ongoing story, and that remember that you're always prepared for situations, and that you are talented enough to get through any situation and to create new situations. And it's because you trust yourself. Okay, see how it happens here. So that's what's up. I want to say hi to Steffi G here in chat, who has thrown out, let me pop out my chat here to see if this is working the way I want it to work. We are popping out here to say, hey, Steffi G, thanks for the right off the bat donation to my channel. You rock. Thank you. Appreciative. Thank you. There's a 100% with 3 hearts. That's like hitting the jackpot on a slot machine. Thank you. Yelena, I was preparing to go to sleep, but now I'm not. Well, I will tell you a bedtime story here on this forecast. Catherine is spiraling through the algorithm, loving the musical accompaniment. And so C7 or C7, what's up? That's what's going on. I probably won't have a lot of people on the stream because I'm not doing it streaming on Sunday. Let us jump in because I have things to do in the background of my life and I got to get to them. That's why I'm doing this. I was going to do this forecast outside, but it's not happening because it's beautiful outside and I just didn't want to deal with logistics of all this. But logistics. J Quinn M, what's up? I see you in chat. Glad you can make it. Good. Glad you're here. I think y'all see me on the camera, and if I think I'm going to do a lot of this. I have to make sure I move myself there. And if I go like there. All right, so let's do it. Today, I'm going to breeze through this one, hopefully today. Where is my, there we are. We're going to annotate the screen. There's 14-degree Taurus sun. You see Uranus here, 26. We're getting to a special place here very soon. Back to the end of summer in the Northern Hemisphere last year when Uranus was around this mark and certain things happened. And here is the moon in Leo, which did its conjunction with Mars here in the last 24 hours, less than that. But clear it out. For this guy right there, this person, this lord of the underworld, Pluto, is stationing today. Listen, obsession, power struggles, it's on. It's definitely on. And I think it's been happening in the background the last week. And I think it comes into the forefront this week. Supposedly, if you look at the transits of the week, they are not supposedly intense or whatever. But I think something pops up this week. I think it does. And I have my reasonings for this. Whenever I look at the boring weeks in the astrology world, that's where I think a lot of stuff happens. So we're going to pay attention and see if I'm completely bullshitting and I'm wrong about all this, but I got a feeling about it. Listen, Plutonian situations when they're stationing are very powerful for the month. It will show you things and unearth things. You just look to the fixed parts of your chart. You look to the world, but I have a feeling there's going to be some secret. There's going to be something that shows itself to you this week or even out there in the public here. And I think because also Mercury's a big player this week in the astrology. I want to say hi. I got to make sure I acknowledge chat in here. Who else is in here? Cosmic Supermarket says, good morning from the upside down. Which would make if you with a koala, so you're an Aussie, you're one of those weirdos down there. If you came up to the northern hemisphere, would that make it the downside up? Is that what it would be? It'd be the downside up. So good morning to you. Hope you're enjoying your Monday morning. Linda Calder is here. Hi. GME is here. Hi. Aja's here. You're special, Aja. You're special. All right. So saying that, let's keep going. Okay. Let's keep going in this mopo. So I was just mentioning Pluto. Listen. No scare, no fear. Okay. Let's get over it. I'm over it. Mostly. I mean, I do have Pluto stationing on my moon. I mean, what am I really feeling? And I think it's going to get to the heart of that here this week. Maybe it'll show itself while I'm streaming. Maybe I will have a Plutonian emotional breakdown live on camera. That will sure get the followers. Let me reiterate something here. the last 2 live streams that I did, I lost a lot of followers, especially the last one I did last week when I said fuck Spotify and I went off on Amazon and all this other stuff. And all week long, I've been losing subscribers. And I wonder, I have to go look to see, I wish I could see precisely when they unsubscribed from me, but it's probably at those moments that I did that. And that's when I know I'm doing a great job on this channel. That's when I know I'm on the right path. That's when I know that I am encompassing, remediating, using, being Pluto. Because if Pluto's going to be at the top of my chart or in anybody's chart and it's hitting their particular somethings or there's a stationary thing, that means I must say what is truly on my mind. And even if it doesn't seem with the times, I think it's ahead of the time. So from an Aquarius point of view, I may be egotistical when I say a statement like this. I don't really give a shit because I'm following a deeper call and a deeper vision that started years ago about this channel. And that's why I harp about trusting yourself. And that's why I'm going to be honest and truthful and even political and all that. So I will lose people along the way. I'm used to it by now. And I'm coming to love it by now. Because I know you watching there who's stuck with me or sticking with me. I know you are in a Plutonian bond with me. Anyway, so saying that, before I jump into forecast, I wanted to say hi to Jendi, channel member, paid channel member. Jendi, what's up? Hi. Lispedixtits, mi amor. Hi. That's an amazing name. Welcome aboard. Cyborg Memoirs says, shout out for my paper strewn planner strewn kitchen table on a rainy afternoon in Philly. Got you. I see how you're doing your Sunday. That's actually cool. Get a nice cup of tea. Kathy, thank you for saying that comment. Jay Quinn, hell yes. Let's go. Speak Pluto. Power, obsession, power plays, unearthing. I would think out of anything that I'm saying here is we want to go deep or stuff that comes up, shows itself in stationary moments. It will be like this. If I move the chart for a month from now, so basically we're going to pay attention. It's 3 degrees, 49 minutes. Here's a month from now. It's 3 degrees, 36. Here's a month later. 3 degrees, 3 minutes. This is July 4th we're looking at. If I go, well, let's stop here. If I go here and I pay attention to July 4th, it's still 3 degrees. We're moving back slow. But check this out. Look at this. Venus goes into Gemini. Bring it on. I say bring it on. And then you have July 4th. Pay attention. 29 degree, 53 minutes. Uranus. It is several days. 1, 2, 3. I will pick right here. You have now right at 59 minutes, 2 degrees Pluto here, but you have the entrance of Uranus and Gemini. Oh, it's going to be Venus-Uranus conjunction at 3 degrees. I got to pay attention to that for my personal life. Anyway, that's what's happening. So you can see the Pluto thing is at an interesting spot here, and it will be just slowly moving backwards. You don't want to lose your mind over this, but you do want to pay attention. And speaking of minds, we will go to the next day here on the 5th, which is my Monday, and it's at 10:21 a.m. that we are dealing with a Mercury Jupiter sextile. This is a superb transit. Let me tell you, it's happening right now. I mean, that's why I'm calling this live stream Mind Power. It is the opportunity to expand the quest. Listen, Venus and Mercury have been on the Aries quest. Saturn will soon join here at the end of May when it goes into Aries. You have a situation here where we just had a Venus-Neptune conjunction where the vision of love, I call it the love warrior vision, or is completely, who knows what it was for some people because it's Neptune. So they thought it was something, or they want something else for themselves. Venus ingress Venus in Aries wants something that they must have what they want. They must do it now. And they'll come up with whatever it is to believe it. That's fine. I on the positive end, we got to be cool. We got to remember Saturnian containers that help visions come true. But saying that, Venus still has the veil of Neptune on them. So a lot of Aries people right now are in interesting positions in their life. Let's just say this right now. If you're an Aries rising, hit me up if you want to get a reading. You can go to my copy down there. You should be talking to somebody. And I think you have. So, and I'll get to the talking part. Anyway, we want to remember the Aries story that we have done here. And here Mercury does its sextile to Jupiter. And this is fabulous. The quest that Venus is on, that Mercury's been on, the retrogrades, everything now is in full motion or wanting to be. And here there is a bigger mind movement happening here because of Jupiter expanding upon what Mercury's bringing. And so it's the opportunity to expand the quest of the mind and what else is needed and the calculations involved and the details involved and the ideas that are involved that are running spark, hot, quick. Mercury in Aries with Jupiter in Gemini, right? And then we will look to Mars in this chart too, because Mars is ruling the Aries stuff right now. So you see all the popping of air and fire going on here. I like situations like this. It's part of the reason why I went live today at the time that I did and for tomorrow. And I think this mind power energy carries through the week. And I'll say why the next couple days, even after this date. But I like the space that's given to Mercury here, and I like when fire and air get together. These types of situational aspects, like a sextile, it's not that like a square or conjunction, like the power behind it, but it's a hint for you. It's a hint between the Aries and the Gemini parts of your chart. It's a hint about what's going to happen this summertime when Saturn and Neptune are in Aries and Uranus is in Gemini and Pluto's in Aquarius. It's a hint of the air and fire age that we're going to deal with for the next 5 years, at least more. So I stuff like this is like mental training ground, but it's not training ground. It has to do with the intellect and the mind power and the expansiveness and the high intellect that's involved when Mercury and Jupiter get together. In a sense, Mercury and Aries is not only is going to spout out whatever it is in the moment, but it will actually take and use the ideas that come up with Jupiter and use them immediately. It's like the action can come through the quick ideal can happen. It's not a pondering, and we take situations like this pretty well because when we get to the end of the week, Mercury's not going to be in Aries anymore, and it's going to go in the most sluggish of stubborn but probably needs to be sign of Taurus. So again, if you're the type of person that loves this type of transit right now, you had hints of it last week when we did Moon Jupiter in Gemini days. Right? We had it, and Mercury's been in Aries. Now we have an extra bump here, okay? So this is speaking with somebody with a bunch of air in my chart, like I need more of this, but I'll take it. I'm definitely going to take it. I'm going to transmit my own messages here in the next 48 hours to my Patreon people, whatever else. I dig this stuff. Remember that it's not just a quick idea. There's the philosophy that's behind things and the expanding upon the philosophy between the Aries and Gemini parts of the chart. Now, Jupiter has been through a lot here in Gemini, and it doesn't have much time left. It will be done here. It looks like, when's the date? It's June 9th that Jupiter will go into Cancer. By the way, right around that time, we're going to do our last Jupiter-Saturn square. So, moments like this might not seem like anything, but they are something. I'm all about mind mixing with philosophy and how they get from the logical to the philosophical to the higher intellect. So what is it for you between the Aries and Gemini parts of your chart? Take advantage of a transit like this all the way to the end of the week when Mars or Mercury goes into Taurus. Okay, so I dig it. We're going to go in here. I see Sarah Metlin's in the chat. Speaking of mind power. Hi, Sarah. And Catherine is over here in chat along with Angela. Polino, thank you. Linda Calder, I said hi. AV's in the house. What's up? Hey, if you're not a subscriber to my channel, please hit the subscribe button and hit the bell, okay? And then Linda's talking about how she can't get into her jeans, and I can't wait to read that chat later on. Just another Sunday afternoon on this channel. All right. High intellect. By the way, that aspect is official. on May 5th at 10:21 a.m., Mercury sextile Jupiter. It is like 2 hours later that the moon, and this is why I'm harping on Mercury this week. I'll go 2 hours later. Let's just go here. That the moon will enter the nitpicky, secretly sexy moon in Virgo that is all about mind power in a different organic way. And so, yeah, secretly sexy. I mean, more than that, I'll be honest with you. I mean, more than that. How much more do you want? Whatever it takes to purge the poisons. Whatever it takes to realign the systems. Consensual, of course, but whatever it takes. Anyway, little side note about a little moon and Virgo land over there. A little, just, you got to accept that after all that's done and the purging is complete and you get everything aligned, you have to be prepared for the type of communication that's involved, just fixing things, or when one becomes emotionally vulnerable after the purging and you're there and everything's cool, you be prepared for the type of verbal statements that could cut coldly into your world and might throw you off after the purging seemed to be like whatever and just elated. It's like coming out of a sauna or a bath or something. But again, it was done in some weird, whatever it takes way, kinky way or whatever. So, but remember, what comes along with this is the preciseness. So if you're open and vulnerable and then you like show yourself that way, you get through that ritual, because it's a ritual with Virgo. Know that what comes along with it is like, by the way, I think you should get rid of those pants that have like 4 holes in them. Just throw them in the garbage, okay? Because blah, 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 blah. And by the way, this other part of your life that needs to be fixed and blah, 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 blah. You know, you got to take that. And so anyway, it's a Mercury week. And so here's Mercury here at 22 degrees in Aries. And it's for 2.5 days here from pretty much May 5th all the way into the 8th on my Thursday when the moon goes into Libra. We have more intensified Mercury and then the Mercury-Jupiter situation. And if you're noticing here, something else that's going to kick in on the next day, but it's happening, and I will just jump to it, I'll just throw it in here, is the Mercury-Chiron conjunction that is building here. Aries people, I'm telling you, you have a moon, you have Mercury in Aries, Venus in Aries. Talk to me. I'm so interested in hearing your stories. We could take a look at the next year in the forecast. I'm not trying to peddle readings here, but God, do you all need to talk to me. Same with the Geminis, by the way. I think y'all need to talk to me too after the last 8 months. Anyway, so that's what's up. That's what's up. We got Mercury Chiron conjunction. So this is another type of truth that comes along. And, you know, the Aries has to speak this. And I think they're going to this week more than ever. Like, they're learning after their huge Chiron journey the last couple of years with eclipses. They're learning how to speak now. I think the learning comes with like knowing the consequences of abrasiveness with speech. And so they have learned a little bit of how to do this from a powerful but vulnerable position, or exposing vulnerableness in others. When I say exposing, we have to be careful of how the scalpel is wielded. And there's a way to do it. And I think it has to do with slowing things down. But it's hard with situations like this when if Chiron or Aries Chiron story is raw for some people in the Aries part of the chart. Regardless, there will be a discussion that's happening this week. And so you could see what's happening. And let's go back to what I was saying. There's the type of discussion where it is the Virgo moon type of discussion that I mentioned. So this is an interesting situation here for a couple days for Virgos and Aries people, and the types of things that come up and will come up in conversation. Just remember that we take things in steps and we let space in between the words and reactions and communications, that you want to let it breathe. It's very important this week, but considering we're having a Pluto station and everything else, I love this shit because we get to some real deal conversations and they don't have to be hurtful. As a matter of fact, they can be completely freeing and uplifting. And that is the other part of, I think, a Virgo situation is what happens when a task is completed, when something is taken care of. And if it's someone who's got a Virgo moon out there, a lot of Virgo stuff, like the feeling they get of the feeling of just groundedness and security and the task well done, you get to see the other side of Virgo, and that's when they get to relax. Relax, Virgo. These days, in this technological world, how many to-do lists, how many task apps, how many email addresses, how many computers and devices, how many projects started and not done. It could drive you crazy. Your adrenal system, your nervous system, your digestive system, slow down. Take a bath. Make some tea. Shut off your mind. And chill. The imperfect is perfect. I jumped ahead, and let's go to the day, but I just had to go there that way. And here is the 6th. And so let us say at 2:31 p.m. we have something else building here as we speak, but it is exact, and it is a Venus-Pluto sextile. It's a sextile week, and there it is. There it is. Woohoo! More Aries story. This time, it's more fire and air. And so we have a Jupiter-Mercury situation. Now we have a Venus-Pluto situation. More hints, especially this aspect. More hints to what is about to occur this summertime between fire and air. So this is a one. I like this. I pay attention to it. It's a enhancement. A much more deeper enhancement in the sensory quest that Aries is on right now and finally released out of the gate several weeks ago, okay? Mercury's past the shadow point. Venus is not quite there yet. It's going to get there very soon. But here, there's a Plutonian influence, and they get along here. There is the sensory quest that it's on, it reestablishes a deeper bond that Venus and Aries needs with the space and the autonomy of Aquarius. Now, they both do autonomy differently, and that's what I see in something like this, is the way they do it. It just digs deep, and sometimes, well, a lot of the times, Aries situations don't actually go deep. They quick and fast and burn hot and fast and explode. But in this situation, it's the opportunity to enhance the depth of Venus and Aries in their interesting journey. Still coming out of a Neptune situation. This got three heavy hitters if you think about this, because before this happened, Venus was in Pisces and did the 3 conjunctions of Saturn or whatever it was, and then does a Neptune, and then has a nice little something with Pluto after. And soon, you see what I'm saying here, we are thinking of a long-term influence of Pluto on the Venus here, and I like it. You know, with a Jupiter-Mercury sextile and a Venus-Pluto in fire and air, there's a lot of, do I dare say the word hope? Do I dare say that there's an adventure, the depth of all this? Dude, can we, in these times, considering what is happening politically, give ourselves that? On this channel, we fucking do it. And we do it at every opportunity. And as a matter of fact, we do and take advantage of situations like this because when it's not happening astrologically, that's where you go to. You know, with transits, if you somehow do something with them and like put it in a container and put it on the shelf, you can go up, open the container or open up the fridge and like crack open that thing and drink it later on when you need it, when the situations are heavy and like, oh, remember the Venus Pluto sextile, the little conversation that happened over there? That was actually kind of hot too. I mean, if you think about it, any Venus Pluto situation can be super fucking deep and hot. I mean, in this situation, it could be like, considering the conversations that are happening this week, I mean, that's fucking stimulating. Listen, as we all know, what it really comes down to a lot of times, running on the loins there, Aries, and they're with Mars and Leo, it's the kind of loin vibes. But you know what though, sometimes you need a little something else. You need the bigger picture, the depth behind it all with your loins. So it's not just your loins. What about a mental expanding, a high intellectual foreplay that happens in the beginning of the week and it leads to situations like this? I mean, that could be hot, deep conversations that aren't surface level, that expand upon things and at the same time bring hope and a certain type of power. And then you were to bring it into your loins. You start there and then it goes there and it comes back. And then maybe it's like turns into, I see orange colors and I see like an orange sunset sky, and after an early evening stroll of philosophical exchange, and Venus and Aries talking about the vision quest that they're on, and they're taking a little break, but then they run into a weird looking Hades character. And they have this conversation, and it stems from a Jupiter-Mercury situation, and it's kind of all feeding to each other, and it's kind of like it's a hot little turn on, and then it's like the sun is going down as an orange-pink sky, and there's planes taking off on the background, like about to go somewhere, on a trip, on the quest. But before that, there is this interlude in the shadows, and there's a breeze moving in between a garden in between two building walls, where there the bonding happens before the plane takes off, and the reminder of when one cannot find their own power, when one seems lost and apathy dominates, that finding and standing in one's autonomy starts with orgasms. And orgasms are the beginning and the end of everything on this damn fucking planet. And it creates life and ends life and creates. And it is in your inherent right. And it is the ultimate power that you have. And when all seems lost, always go back to your orgasms in the shadows or in the light, whatever it is, with the orange sky bursting and changing while it's multi-layering and everything bursts in. It's there where hope and power is and creativity comes. All is not lost. It is never lost. And when it seems that way, and you need your beacon, and I'm dead fucking serious about what I'm saying here, your orgasm is everything. It leads to the paintbrushes. It leads to a natural equilibrium. It leads to other forms of creation. It leads into trusting yourself. It sets you up as preparation. And gives you a grounded place. It's even better sometimes with somebody else. but it's your own thing. No one could take anything away from you there. And everything comes from there on this damn planet. If you're in the northern hemisphere, all you have to look at is the sprouting 2 months of orgasmic flowers and leaves bursting out. It is just a thing. You want to know where power comes from? It comes from there. If you feel suppressed and you looking at the news and the timelines and everything that's happening there and it's fucking with your mind, then get out of your mind. And if you are going to be in the mind place, you might as well do some of the mind things this week and tease yourself in a good way and expand upon things and look for something new to bring in that continues and pushes you along the quest that you're on, leaving old stories behind. (2:31 p.m. on Tuesday, the May 6th, is a Venus sextile Pluto transit, and it's at 6:47 that we have a Mercury conjunct Chiron situation. When we go into the 7th and we go forward, it's Moon squaring Jupiter. We still got this Virgo moon. It's making a lot of aspects to Uranus and Saturn, opposite Saturn, all that stuff. We go into the 8th. Moon goes into Libra. Opposite Neptune, triggers some of the Aries stuff. We're going to move forward. Things switch up here. We're not in the mind place. We're in a more Venus-y type of place for 2.5 days, and so on and so forth. We're going to go to the 9th. There's a Moon trine Jupiter aspect that sort of continues the situation that happened earlier in the week with the conversation that Mercury had with Jupiter. It's right there. Here's the trine aspect. We look to Venus here. It's feeding the Taurus story. All right, I dig it. It's cool. Regardless, I still think we're going to have an interesting something reveal itself publicly this week. Whatever the case is, we get into the 10th. And this is a major little switch up that's going to happen, and it has to do with Mercury going into Nicolas. There it is. You'll see it switch here. I'll go to chat after this. There it is. We're going to have a Mercury ingress in the Taurus, and this is when the pacing changes. Now, the pacing of Mercury is moving really fast, but the actual conversations are going to change, and I think it will be needed at this point after all the mind power and everything that's happened the last month with Mercury in a retrograde. We get into a place where the conversation pacing changes, and we are talking earth languages here. Remember, Venus in Aries is part of this, ruling the Mercury in Taurus, and we're still in Taurus birthdays, Taurus people. How are you doing out there, by the way? I'm wondering about you. I used to do a lot of readings for you all, because you were dealing with a lot of other shit. I think later on in the month, we do a Sun Uranus conjunction here. It's building. If you can't tell, in 6 days after this is going to happen, looking at this chart here, you know who to talk to, by the way. So saying that, we have this situation where it's an earth-based languaging now that happens and slows down. We're thinking long-term here, and stubbornly and simply and practically with Mercury and Taurus. It's an interesting day when it does it, because the moon is still in Libra, Venus ruled. It's Venus in Aries. Venus in Aries, is kind of the star here too, in a sense this week, because it's so connected to ruling other situations. And Mars is too, because it's ruling Aries. So we understand this. We are building a slow picture with Mercury being in Taurus that is more like a bigger long-term situation. And it's not just the vision part of it. It's just more the tools and practicality that the Aries story needs to slow down with the type of conversations that have it. It's about common sense. It's about simple things in the end after burning hot, in Aries. We want to be deliberate and focused here with Mercury and Taurus. We dig this situation. We have this ingress. And give me a second here if I look into something. Mercury will be in Taurus all the way until May 25th. See how fast it's moving right now? So basically, it goes into Gemini. That's the weekend of the conference. So there you go. 1525. Yeah. So that's what's happening there. We have the ingress. That's going to happen at 5:15 a.m. on my May 10th, Saturday Pacific time. And it's later on in the day that the moon goes into Scorpio to prepare us for a Scorpio full moon that's going to happen on the 12th. I will not talk about that right now, even though let's just point this out in this particular chart here, that as soon as Mercury goes into Taurus, we then know that it's already building a square to Pluto. And that is a whole different conversation. So you can see here this week, if I were to pick any planet that is touching upon things, doing things, whatever. I mean, Pluto is the one, but it's Mercury in my mind because basically of the Virgo moon and then what's going to happen at the end of the week or the beginning of next week with the beginning of a square that is happening between that. And here is a little bit more tighter conversation that's building. And I think it's toward the end of the week where I think the Plutonian situations that we're dealing with, I think there's things that will start to reveal themselves here in a situation like this with the square. And that is my feeling on it, especially because Mercury's moving really fast in the sky. Little Dreamscapes threw down a super chat on me earlier. Thank you. With a hands up. That's some interesting emoji choice. Dig it. I see what's going on there. Thank you. Thank you for that. J.S. Ballard. A Virgo's in the house. Orphic. Hey, Orphic. How are you? Purging the poisons? Yes. Wild Magi is here. It says, they say I'm obsessed with starting my Substack. Start it. Do it. Get it. Do it, Wild Magi. Do it. And then the next comment says, do it. And then paid member Patrick Herrick says, do you really want to do a reading with me, Mr. Nick? No. I can't wait to sing 80s hits out loud to you in the bookstore, Patrick. Steffi G, yes. These are probably when I was doing some other part of this forecast about the planes taking off and orange colors in between buildings. Dale Dobson's in the house sending out Google invitations. Mani's here, another channel member, paid channel member. Thank you. Oh, you came into the live stream literally. Okay, I see that. Aquarius says hello from Dallas, Texas. What's up? What's up, Aquarius? Triple S. And Dex Patina is here. Does your hoodie is it from Slytherin? Maybe your Moon Pluto transits reflect on a new ambition on getting more followers and growing the channel. I'm not going to get more followers because of my live streams and ranting. But is it Slytherin? Am I a purebred? I mean, it is. Slytherin all the way. All the other houses end up coming to Slytherin. You know what I'm saying? They all walking between the two buildings when the sunset is bursting into orange. That's what's really going on. So GME, thank you for a super chat. Thank you. I didn't expect these today with some tacos. Hell yeah, that sounds good. Leventy starting a Substack for real time. Do it. I last week, this week's a good time to do it. I would go for it. And let me say something here. Let me, it's not going to be a long rant. How much time do I have? I'm going to try to make this a short ass stream, 15 minutes less max here. you look at the astrology and you watch a guy like me or anybody else, okay? And everyone's got their own views, and you pick up stuff, and some of it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't matter. The thing I'm going to say to you is, don't let astrology get in the way of your world. I think the transits are power packed for the next 8 years. So how you deal with them? If you need to take a break, take a break. If you are noticing that every single base decision or non-decision you're making and it's altered and you feel frozen because of the transits, I would take a break. I would step away. I would reset, So I'm just saying that to all of you. There isn't, first of all, miracles are here and there and low fucking odds saying that. Second, you create your own luck. I believe that on a channel. I'm a Jupiter in Scorpio, but at the same time, I'm a Saturn person. I think you create your situations and they take time. Some things happen instantly. I say this because sometimes we will gamble or put everything on a certain minor transit or even a big one, supposedly. But you have to understand that there's always new ways for transits to reveal themselves, that no astrologer is 100% dialed in. I am somewhat of a predictive astrologer, but more on my one-on-one consultations. And when I do that, it's more forecasting. There are times when I'm dead on, but I don't put myself in those situations. I do my sessions differently with my clients. I have to put certain things in my opinions, but I put everything in their court, and they have to assimilate the information and then do what it is for them. And that goes back to a place of knowing where you stand in the universe, where you are with your intellect and with your intuition, with your intuition and your instinct. These things are what truly guides you, and you have to allow yourself to do that. The influencing that happens from the outside world, you can only take in so much amount of, and you have to know when to shut that faucet off and know when to turn it on, me or anybody else. So if you find yourself frozen, or you're following other astrologers where they're on threads and they're like, they've been preaching how they wanted to get out of a Mars and Cancer transit, and now they're in the situation, and then you notice that, well, because of the way they were talking before, that everything was supposed to be enlightened and great after the Mars and Cancer transit, and then they're like, they come up with a new thing. Well, this is this because Mars and Pluto are now this, and it just keeps going, and you're just like, that is not a way to live life, and that is not a way to use astrology in my mind. Now, that's my opinion, but for you, you have to notice, again, what it is for you, and if you notice that it's fucking with you, then walk away. Just walk away. And the best knowledge that you can acquire for yourself is your own autonomous connection with nature. And I always believe that you'll get the best information from that place. Is astrology part of nature? It is. But even then, it's not about the constant present world of algorithmic nitpicking. It's more about, the hummingbird. Do I sign this? Do I do that? What am I going to do about this? Well, I can't do that because the moon is in blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And if you find yourself stuck, go separate yourself from that and come back. You'll get a different outlook, a different thing, okay? So anyway, I need to say that. Joseph Murray in chat says, at last I made it to live stream after over a year. Wow. Good to see you, Joseph. Good to see you. Mani is in here, a paid channel member. And Isha just jumped in on chat. Our bodies are part of nature. We can learn so much from listening to our bodies. Definitely. My lower back, definitely. What do I do? Oh, yeah, tacos. Yeah, dark chocolate. Yeah, that solves everything. So saying that's the end of my stream. Let's keep it that way. And I'll pull a card. And that's going to be, oh, shit, is that going to make it under an hour? All right. My number one deck in this house, for reasons that will be untold is this sparkly deck that's sitting over here. And it's my favorite deal. Sparkly deck. It's the lighting. It's gonna pick up my hands. This isn't the way to. There it is. The Knight of Wands. We're going to go to my homeboy Angelo here. He's not my homeboy. I met him at a tarot conference. He's a great practitioner of history, Hellenic history, and other things. He's a fighter, this guy. Follow him. His name is Angelo. He's got a great Substack. If you're ultra pagan, be careful. He's going to test you. But he wrote a great tarot book, and it's called Tarot Unlocking the Arcana. And really well done. Super smart dude. Go follow him on Substack and tell him Sparkle sent you, okay? He's a good cat. He's a fighter, man. That's what I love about him. He's not afraid to speak his mind. What card did I pick? On a golden horse. We love golden horses on this channel. The Knight of Wands dashes off to another adventure. He is dressed in armor and covered in decorative salamanders like the Page of Wands. From his helmet, the plumes of fire extend outward. We see him moving at a fast pace, and he's off to seek adventure. His fiery nature, being a wand, makes him energetic and progressive. While the Page of Wands thought of goals and plans, it is the Knight that takes actions to get closer to his goal. Astrologically, the Knight of Wands represents the sign of Sagittarius, which is the base for much of the personality of the Knight of Wands. So we have a Mercury-Jupiter situation earlier this week. I just want to say that for those who are not paying attention here. All right, so Sagittarius is a sign associated with individuality, travel, adventure, courage, spontaneity, and being active. It's mutable, adaptable to change, which manifests in the Knight of Wands through learning and preferring change. Being a traveler, learns along the way out in the open in between buildings while sunsets are bursting into orange. And not the classroom type setting. Being a catalyst for change, the Knight of Wands changes for the sake of changing. Overall, the change presented here in the Knight of Wands is that of the impulsive kind. Anyway, in a reading, Knight of Wands indicates a new adventure awaits you, Nicholas. It is time to take action and get a move on your projects now. That's why I'm doing a short stream. Oh my God, I'm overwhelmed. I do have projects. Focus on how to advance and promote your dreams and desires. It's not just readings I will get. It's not even about that. It's not just the followers. My desire is to make this channel something even bigger, to use in the vehicle as we move to the 2028 general strike, part of a secret plan I have to mobilize people. At the same time, mobilize myself where I'm able to do what I do in different parts of the world. That's not in a book. I'm saying that out loud. And it also has to do with my physical mobilization. All right. Focus on how to advance and promote your dreams and desires. These stupid U2 songs in my head. U2 desire song. I'll say hi to chat and then we're gonna go. And Joseph made it. And all right. The name of the deck is called, I don't know, just look up Tarot Black and Gold Edition. Listen, a couple of links I'm going to drop through on you all here. We're going to go first is to a series of interviews that I did for the Help the Northwest Astrological Transit. Hey, there's an interview I did with Demetra George. Whoa, that's not Demetra right there. See, that's me and Demetra. There's a whole playlist that I did. There's going to be 3 or 4 more this week that I'm going to add. I will throw this playlist. Is there a shareable link? First of all, I'll share the Demetra one right here. Please, when you watch these videos, please comment and say what's up. That link is in the chat. Here is the full playlist right here. Demetra, Kira Sutherland, Jason Holley, Sam Reynolds, Judith Hill. It goes on and on and on. I did a whole bunch. You could check them out. It's just promoting the conference that's going to happen May 22nd through the 26th. It's online, workshops, everything. Go to the website. You could check it out. Here's the playlist. Please watch the videos. That link is in the chat. Dig it. All right. Might as well throw the NORWAC thing up. Great thing. You can just go watch it for the day. You can go the whole weekend. You can do a pre or post conference lecture on its own. You're going to have access for a couple weeks afterwards too, online if you want to watch it. There it is, Northwest Astrological Conference. That is there. I have a lot to do for that, some social media. Speaking of social media, I will say this out loud now more. I'm kind of helping behind the scenes now at another astrological org called NCGR. Please go follow the account. I'm going to try to build it in the next 3 months. It needs a lot more followers, and they have a lot of things. That Instagram account is in the chat. I'm sharing things for them slowly, not like I was doing for another org, which I'm not doing anymore. I am helping out a little bit behind the scenes with these cats. Some of them will be at the conference at NORWAC. Please go follow the socials on there. Good bunch of people, and they're trying to do new things. If you're a member, they have this really cool once-a-month meeting on asteroids that is really good. A SIRG, they call it. So there's that. What else do I have to promote? I will promote this before I go, and I still have 3 minutes. I might as well promote my own self. Like, why do I'm always helping with other people, and after next year, that's going to change because it's time for me to ascend to power, to my own. Anyway, so there's my bookshop.org site. I'm going to, after May, going to redo this to add other books that are not just astrology, occult books, esoteric books that I recommend. If you purchase books, you can do them through here. They go through independent bookstores. I do have an Amazon affiliate account, but I'm going to put the bookshop.org, plus I get a bigger cut. For instance, hey, you want to know a good book on Saturn? This is a tricky, funny, sneaky book on Saturn, actually, is this particular book here. I love this book. I always go back to it. It's a different way of looking at Saturn. It's not going to be the complete Liz Green way of doing it. It's something else. What's another book that I like? Here's my live stream book when I talk about books. See, I talked about this before. Wow. This 5 Elements cookbook right here. It's badass, by the way. Again, did I throw the link in the comments? I did. So what here's my when I interview people, look at some of the books there. Return to Love, Course in Miracles. So that's probably Colin Bedell right there. Decolonizing Therapy, that was probably from Colin. What else shows up on these? I could think about some of the interviews. I might as well talk about this. If you've never listened to my podcast that I did before with these interviews I did with people, they are on I'll put this link in the comments.
Hello.
You can see with Colin and I'll put that in. You can see these past interviews. They're all weird and funny. Anyway, some of the books mentioned here are on this list. Hey, we got Ethical Slut, Mating in Captivity, Come As You Are, Body Keeps the Score. That's interesting. So if we're going to deal with trauma and harshness, Body Keeps the Score, I mean, you could go to Come As You Are to help alleviate that. So anyway, I have some other random stuff that's mentioned on these podcasts. Go check them out. If there's a book that you like, make a purchase. An Ursula Le Guin book over here. I forget who mentioned that book. Lunation Cycle, Day in Rujar. Some of these books are Demetra recommendations. They have nothing to do with astrology. They're really cool. You can go listen to that interview. Okay? That's what's up. See you around. Steffi G threw another thing at me. Thanks, Steffi G. What is going on? Julie Powers in chat asked, what was that last one on asteroids? Well, if either Asteroid Goddesses Demetra book, or you go to the NCGR and they have a surge, they call it, like a special interest groups. And they have a Patreon, but if you're a member, they have once a month where they do asteroid discussion on there. And it's really cool. Can I pull that up somewhere? Without... Speaking of, geez, Nicholas, why don't you promo your own damn Patreon? Like what? I know I don't push out the amount of information on the Patrons like other people do. I have my plan because there's my Patreon in there. But there's a particular one. I will find it here. As a member, it's... Let me see. I don't know where it's at. Oh, there it is. So you see the special interest group here that's for NCGR, and they just had a meeting last May. They're going to do it once a month. I know Demetra stopped by the first one that they had, but anyway, again, the way to get into this is a member of NCGR. And speaking of, since I'm going to do it. If you are not on the NCGR, like you're not a member of NCGR, here is there in the chat, the sign up list to get on the, it's in the chat right there. That actually was just given to me today. Get on that sign up list as an NCGR. And if you join, they have newsletters that go out and speaking of, let's just get to this since I'm doing this. We will go to YouTube here and I will pick the NCGR page because I want you to see something. You can see they're called the Geocosmic. If you are sneaky enough, the lectures that they do every month is an international. A couple other ones are free to their members, but they put some of them on the website afterwards to watch for free, and they're only up there for a certain period of time. So I'll put that link. Go subscribe to that channel. If you comment on anything, you tell Nicholas that Sparkles of Gold guy sent you. You could see here that some of the videos that they have are they just uploaded one 30 minutes ago. It's all types of astrology, and some of them are in different languages. There's another org that's trying to bring new members in and all that kind of stuff, and they do major testing on the back end. And there's other plans they have. Regardless, they're one of the major orgs out there. I'm trying to help them out. Okay, that's enough. Back to me. There's my bookshop. Back to me. You think, yeah, I'm going to pretend I'm Leo. I'm going to pretend I'm Mars and Leo. There's only me, and you all end up to me. Okay, let me talk about me. I'm me channel. I joke. All right, let me go to a wide shot. And that's me, Nicholas, with a live stream. And I went 3 minutes over. Let your mind expand this week. See you around. Have a good week, everybody. Take it easy, will you? And I will see you on the next video.